All right, hello everyone. So let's take a look at the 20th of November. We got Monday, right? So I've already put the Astro Hours in the members area, and you can see them on gold here as well. Let's take a look. It's a new week, so we've got the weekly here now. This is, let me just refresh this back and forth. Our first resistance is that 60 level, so that 2016 on the weekly is going to be a target, which is there, 2016, right? That's And on the daily, as you can see, we've dipped down to go up. So as you can see, it's pretty much closed that level there. Maybe we might dip down a little bit more into 53, which is 1970. If we come into 1970, I'm just going to do this. 1970 is there. If we dip it down, okay, and it's an Astro hour, we can go up. Okay, we should go up in order to get up there. Remember, that was a target last week. It did it. It was a breakout, no big deal. If it dips down to go back up, I've got now 63 plus 70. Those are going to be 1992 and 2017. So ahead of us, we'll have 1992. Okay, 1992. Just, whoops, there. I'm just going to get rid of this. That's already done. And they've got 2017, which is pretty much on the dot here. Let's just do that, and we can get rid of that. If the market breaks above the weekly, which is 60, 2016, all right, so if we break above that level, come on. If we break above that level, you know we've got room to go, which is fine. Okay, so if the market comes back, we want to be going up, not a big deal. Okay, the market's in an up move, coming back to retest, filling the gap, okay, and then pushing up is fine. All right, so you can take this zone, you can also take this manipulation bar here, not a problem, which you can just do this. Okay, and that's fine. Let's take a look at SP 500. Here we got SP 500. Same kind of thing with SP 500. It's a new week. Let's take a look at the weekly. Beautiful, right at the top there, 4,520. On the monthly, we're pretty much on there. This is going to be a nice sell zone as well. That 58 to 59, is it? 58. So 4,550 zone. 4,550 zone. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. We're going to have a volatile week, in my opinion, with the indices. I said last week this is a sell zone. If you sold the highs, you would have been okay. That level is 76, 4,530. So that's going to be our first resistance. I'm going to get rid of that. That target was done. That was from last week. So no dramas there. Friday was a swing day as well. Okay, so that's the weekly. So Friday was a swing day. If you sold the high, you can carry on today, because with the SP 500, like I said, check out the members area, because I made a comment on the indices. If today is going to be a swing, we've got room to come down into 72, 70, 68, 72, 70, and 68. So 4,503, 4495, 4488. So 4,503, that's your first level. 4,495, 4,488. So as you can see, we've got levels down here to come down to, which is pretty much, it could be any one of those. The weekly pivot is there. On the weekly, if you take a look, we might go up a little bit more and then sell off. The market can touch this week. Okay, so be smart. It can touch this week. Okay, so I'm going to put those up there, 62, 63, which is 4,560 to 80. 4,500 and, oops, 4,550, we had that. 60, 4,560 here. 4,580 is here. All right, it can do it because it's going to be a volatile week, in my opinion, on the indices, and we've got a bunch of days on the indices, so you have to be careful and you have to match it nicely. If you're using your ATAM strategy, okay, I recommend selling on lines at the Astro hour. This is why we've got them. That 78 level here is 4,565. That 4,565 is for today, okay, because tomorrow that's going to change, okay? So that's that. What can you do then? If the market is up here anywhere in this purple zone, I think selling is not a bad idea. If we, you know, go up and touch into that red line there, or we're in this, in this zone, or if we go slightly higher into those PST levels, selling is not a bad idea. I think this area has got room to come down. We can go down into 56 as well, which could be 4,450. Which is pretty much your weekly pivot. So you got targets down there. Now the market should get somewhere by lunchtime. And as we get closer to the lunchtime, it should pick up some speed, and the disruption is going to come at between 8:30, which is going to be 7:30 here. That's your 7:30, and this is your 7 o'clock. All right, so that's that. So if we kind of like break down, it should follow through. If we kind of like break up, it should follow through as well. It just depends on what's happening at 8 to 8:30, and then it should be like a pushy until lunchtime. And I've put the hours in the members area, like I said. Okay, so selling the highs at Astro hours is okay. If you wanna, if the market comes down first, if you're gonna intraday trade it, right? If it comes down first, you can look to go up. Okay, but if it goes up first, you look to sell. Okay, let's take a look at the euro dollar. It's the weekly. That was a big whopper move. It came right onto the target last week. If we take a look at the monthly, we might still head into that 53 level, which is 1.1013. I'm just going to put 1.1013 because it's on the monthly, but you can see that's like 1.1030 is like up there. Okay, so that's on the whoopsie daisy monthly. As you can see, 1.1013. My apologies. I thought I got it wrong. 1.1013. Whoops. There. Okay, but I talked about these levels and they came to the target, as you can see, on Friday closing. So if you bought the lows, actually you should have been fine. I also talked about this level where the market can go up as well. So if you did that, fine. You can see the stops were nicely swept with the even lows taken out, but the whole idea here is the swing there. So at the Astro hour, you would have been in there, stop loss there, following it up into the target. So if you did that, well done. Let's get rid of these now. Let's give it a refresh, so we'll get the daily pivots up here. So now that we've done the targets here, we still might go up a little bit more there. We're coming towards the end of November, so if we hit that high level at the end of November, then we should like flow into a good sell kind of a transition. In the interim though, from these levels, we want to be selling. Okay, now the market broke above the highs, it closed above the highs, so buying is logical because the trend is still going up and it looks like we've got room to also go up. So I want to utilize that. As the market comes down, you can go back up to see where that's going. Now I'm going to get rid of this because this is done. I'll keep that there because that was a target. On the weekly here, as you can see, that was a target there. Okay, so now going above this is fine. We'll just have to see where things end up. Let's take a look at the euro dollar daily. That's the wick there. That's the big wick there. So are we going to, are we going to go up into there? Is there a gap here? There isn't one. So it might tap in there, or there are two options here, right? One, we're going to have to sell here. Okay, maybe at that wick there. All right. The second option is the gap here, which is very small. So I'm still going to mark it in. Let's see where that is. 1.0964. So 1.096465, this zone could also be a target. If you want to buy, your first support is going to be down here on the daily. It's a bit far out, but this could also turn into a target if they sell the top. There's also, let me see what we've got here. We've got divergence here as well. You see here, the PST is low. Okay, the price is higher, the PST is way up there, but the price is lower. Okay, so there's a lot of divergence here. So the market could also retrace from here, and if it does, we should come all the way back down into this zone here. And in fact, let me mark this out for us. Okay, so if we decide to sell, which we should be deciding to sell from the highs, okay, we should kind of like target this zone coming into waving into closing the gaps here and so on. And we could even put a mid target there, which is going to be there. All right, so I'll just be a little bit conservative, put it slightly higher. So that level should also be a target, but we should dip in there if we want to go long for a longer period as well. Okay, so selling the highs, euro dollar, not a bad idea. This zone is okay, that zone's okay. 1.0965 is a level to keep your eyes open for, and that's that. Okay, if we come down, your first target is 1, 2, and then on the daily you can see that level 64 is 1.0850. 1.0850 is going to be a level you want to be looking out for, because this level is going to get support. Now, if it breaks this and the weekly pivot on the pull up, you're going to be selling lower. Okay, and that's that. Do I have a weekly target there? Yes, I have the LCL one, which is 1.0797. So let's call that 1.08. 1.07. 1.08. All right, so there. So those should be the targets. We'll worry about the rest if we break below there. Okay, then we've got room to come down. We'll mark these in later as we come down. Why? Because once the market starts to turn and break this level here, right, once it breaks this, then we should go up to sell into that zone. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Now, remember what I said. I also made a note on it in the members area. Indices this week are tricky because we're going to have volatility. All right, so we're going to have volatility, and that is going to, maybe cock things up a little bit. I did not check the news as I'm going with astrology, but if you check the news, it's good because then you can get your hours right as well, and you can actually compare the hours of the news with your trading with the astro hours as well. So that's all good, but judging from what's going on in the sky, I suspect we're going to have a volatile day today. So let's see what's going on with Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Rightio, so this is your Dow Jones. Now, okay, I just had a look at the news as well. So Thursday's Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's going to be your day off. And I think Friday there's early closing of the market as well. But this is a sell zone. So last week, if you sold the highs here, you should be okay. We should kind of like dip down. So if there's a move up, like a retracement into 75, 35, 180, 35. I'm just going to push that into 180 there. Whoops. All right, so that's going to be also a sell zone. You can see the target was nearly done on Friday. This was done, and the other target up here was nearly done. So I can just get rid of these. I can also get rid of this. Okay, and let's see how things are panning out. Let's get rid of all of this. Now, on the weekly, if you take a look, okay, we're right at the top here. So this 59 level is also interesting for us, which is going to be 35. What's that? 58, 59, 35, 167. So I've got 35,010. 3510. 3510. Could that be right? Yes, it's already done. 58, 3510 is done. So 35,167. 35. I'm just going to move this up here because that's already done. 167. All right, so pretty much this zone here. So if we get up there to an Astro hour, selling is not a bad idea. Then we want to be doing is pushing this down. On the daily, so that's pretty much matching. Your first support is 70, 34,881, 34,881. All right, so this is your first support of the day, which is fine. It's logical. Friday support as well, no big deal. Let's take a look at the others as well, because there are levels down here as well. 67 to 65, 34,800, 34, what is it, 60, let me see, so that was 65, 66, 67, I think. 34, 745, 34,800. 34,800 is there. 34,745 is here. So that weekly pivot is also a target zone. So we should come down and dip down into this zone. If the market wants to go up again, this is the zone it's going to try out. Okay, you can take this, okay, as the whole area there. No problemo, but we should break down. Okay, so at the end of the day, if you want to sell, if the market comes up, you must sell. All right, so that's going to be a sell zone here. Like I said, the market's a bit volatile this week, but if we find a level to sell at the tops here, we're going to do that. I want to push it down. We should come back into, I'm just going to take this out, put it into here. This is going to be a target zone for us. Okay, and we should at least get into this zone. Now I don't need to worry about this. That's done. And then the market should flow back into at least into this zone. All right, so we should come back to retest these levels again. I'm going to extend that a little bit more. We should come back at least into this zone. Okay, so we've got room to come down. On the weekly as well, as you can see, 55, 34,616. 34,616 is going to be down here. If it breaks below this anyway, this zone, if it breaks below that, any move up into an Astro hour where we identified the resistance, the levels, then we can sell off at those hours. Okay. NASDAQ, same kind of deal, guys. This zone, like I said, is sell zone for us. If it taps its head back up into 77, which is 16,041, 16,041 is going to be up here. You could still sell it off there. On the weekly, do I have a level? It's already done that. 64. 66 is going to be 16,082. 16,082. We'll keep it on the cards. Okay, if it does get up there, this is going to be your sell zone. All right. On the downside of things, now let me get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. This is already done, as you can see from last week. So nothing to worry about with these. We can now get rid of them. On the daily, the first levels targeting 67, 64. That's going to be 15, 6, 7, 1, 7, 1, 4. 15,714 is just there. 15,714. So we should come down into there. All right. Into the weekly at least. And then I've got 53 on the lower side, 15,404. We should mark that in as well. 15,404. Until the daily changes, this is going to be relevant for us. Okay. On the weekly, we can come back all the way into here, 54, which is a bit far down, 15,195. Okay, we'll cross that bridge as we go down. 15,195 is there. Okay. So we'll cross that bridge as we start to break down. So the highs here, sellable. If you want to take a look at the high of last week and you want to sell it off there, it's doable. Okay, it's not a problem to do so. I like PST levels. This is how the market gets surprised, because people love to sell the highs and lows and buy the lows and sell the highs, which is fine, which is not a problem at all. But if I got a PST level, sometimes the market will just get there. And if it's an Astro hour, it's a good level to be selling off at. Okay. So be mindful, the market can go down today and it could just keep breaking down and just following through. So be mindful at the Astro hours. Once it finds direction, it should flow in that direction until closure. Daily on the weekly on the Bitcoin, this is again, like I said, the resistance zone here. This zone should be your sell kind of zone here. The market's got a big up move here, but the market's closed the gaps, so a bit of resistance is here. If it breaks above the resistance, which is fine, okay, not much to talk about. There's room to go up, okay? So if you want to sit tight and wait, not a problem. This is not a bad support level, 57.58 here. That's going to be 36.745.820. So 36.745.820, 36. Well, pretty much the daily. Okay, pretty much the daily, weekly level here. So if the market dips down into an Astro hour, you want to go up, you can, but I do it with a smaller lot size because we're already at the highs here. Okay, so this is good, an impulse up, and we're like in this zone here. We need to break this to sell again on an up move. Other than that, you should just wait. I'll put the swing hours and the days for Bitcoin. Okay, this zone for me should be a sell zone, but we'll know if it breaks this level, and then on the retracement you can sell safer. This is a support. I wouldn't sell there. We are at quite high levels, as you can see, so maybe it's worth waiting and seeing what's happening on that one rather than just rushing.